8:41, and if you don't know the whole story, you at least know the music from the musical Beautiful, which is here in town this week, and we are delighted to have Ben Frank. How do you say your last name?
Fankhauser.
Fankhauser. I wanted to say Frankhauser, and that just didn't seem right. And Becky Gulsvig here with us this morning. Good morning, you two.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning. Good.
We're glad to have you here. Beautiful is sort of the story behind the music of Carole King, right?
Right.
Talk a little bit about the story of the show.
Well, a lot of people are familiar with Carole King from her Tapestry era, and this sort of gets the pre-Tapestry story. She started out when she was 16, songwriting for other people, and didn't sing her own stuff till later. So you sort of get her breaking into the songwriting business, meeting the love of her life, that sort of falling apart. And we play her competitors and friends in the songwriting business, Cynthia Weil and Barry Mann, who come together during the show. And they're still together in real life and still doing this in real life. So
Telling the story before that, I mean, that album with the music that so many of us know, I mean, that album has all of the songs on it that so many of us know, but telling the story before that time, why do you think it's so important for people to really understand where she came from?
Well, I think it's an amazing underdog story. I think she rose, you know, to fame out of nothing, really. And also, we get to see a really cool glimpse at the era of music, you know, the 60s and 70s, and when they were writing songs in a building for other groups. And it's not something we really experience today in the music industry, and so that's a really neat peek into our history in music.
Do you think some people in the audience are surprised by the songs that they might not connect with her or with, you know, the characters that you guys play?
Oh, certainly.
absolutely, because they were sung by the Drifters and the Shirelles, and we have those numbers in the show. I mean, it's the Locomotion. When you think of the Locomotion, your first thought is not Carole King,
Right?
But she wrote it.
Right.
And you've got Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow, and all these, and all those sort of songs that are staples in our repertoire of music in our brains, but you don't necessarily know they're carols. And so that's always fun to hear the audience realize, oh, and we do hear them.
Do you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I
great.
always wonder if you
really
guys
nice.
do here.
Yeah, it's way cool.
You guys are kind of young, so I mean, were you familiar with a lot of this music before you started the show? Or because a lot of these songs are classics.
They are, and I think they do stand the test of time.
Yeah.
For example, I remember hearing You Got a Friend at summer camp when I was a young kid, you know, so I didn't really grow up with the music in real time, but I still have memories of hearing these songs for the first time, and they still are meaningful to me.
Well, there are still opportunities to see this wonderful show here in Charlotte. You guys are here through the weekend, yes?
That's right.
And then they go to Florida. So catch them before they go to the super warm weather. There's all of the information for tickets. It's at, of course, the Belk Theater. I hope to get there this weekend. I'm going to try my hardest because I really, really am excited to see this show. Such great music. Thank you guys for coming in. We really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
us.
No problem.
Nice to meet you both.
Nice to meet
Likewise.
you.
8:44 now. Let's get a check of your forecast with meteorologist Al Conklin.